just sit and soak it in, come and pester me for a bit, go and do, go and read, say 5–10 minutes, go and have a search through the suitcase. Maybe your character's in the suitcase, maybe it's a shirt that's going to be your character. Maybe that's all you need. Maybe you want to make a peg, maybe you want to draw your character. Go and create your character. And just for the sake of time, I'm going to speed this up. Normally this would be a session in the nursery, in year 1. We actually took this up to year 2. I've actually done this with year 3s and 4s, which they absolutely loved. But it sort of comes from the nursery. So just in the essence of time, this wouldn't be the real amount of time. We could spend all day making characters. But
I'm cutting a viewing. Would you like a viewing? I think I need
if anyone was watching Children in Need last night, did you notice there was a play therapist? If anyone saw it, there's a play therapist talking about how she supported 2 children who were dealing with the loss of their mum. And she was saying that conversation struck up while doing things. Yeah, this is where you go for that high quality language. So when they're playing with the wall and the scissors and the felt tips and the pen. This isn't in front of the class time, this is you coming in subtly, sitting next to them.
Yeah, so there's somebody else in it and another guest here. It's one of those things
That's the first bit. You make your character. We had one rule. It had to be a unique character, a character you've not seen before. But actually, we didn't need that rule because, like some of what you're doing here, it was just the building and the making and the gluing and the sticking or the drawing. Children go off and draw, and we had all kinds of different characters. Princess was a good theme. That come up a lot, but just the act of having abstract objects. If you look at the researchers Steiner, they put forward the idea that if you have malleable, manipulative objects that aren't actually, so there's no princess dresses, there's no photocopies of Mr. Gumpy or characters we already know, it's just scraps of felt that fell on the floor in an art lesson. It's pipe cleaners that no one used, it's some pegs from Sainsbury's for 60p, it's spoons from IKEA for £1.25. But Steiner theory would say that actually giving the kids this stuff means they have to go into their own imaginative thoughts. They're not trying to make something, so then they can't fail. So there's no actual failure. You're not trying to make One of the Robbers, my favourite book of all time. You're just doing. You just make it, and it could be wiped off. You could pull all the material off, and then you could stick it all back on. But you just do it, and when you put the eyes on, it comes to life. So the first part of the story is to build that character. What we then ask the kids to do is me and the team go around charity shops and we grab things. Old cameras, ice hockey masks, Russian dolls, a plastic fish. The one the kids love is one of my wife's old shoes. We sprayed one gold and one brown. And what we do is we ask them to pick 3 things. So you've got your character, now your character has 3 things that go with it. 3 belongings. It might not be belongings. One of them might be another character, the dinosaur, the robot. The spinning wheel is an excellent one. I love the Sleeping Beauty. The Sleeping Beauty is another story that seems to have travelled the globe. Frank Smith and the whole word approach to reading. He said he was in a classroom and his boy sat there for the best part of an hour and wrote the story, Last Night My Dog Died. The teacher then came over. Could you describe how your dog died? Could you put an adjective in there? Should we look at the sentence structure? Could you engage the reader a bit more? Actually, Last Night My Dog Died, told by a 5-year-old child, is powerful. Frank Smith's approach to this is, why overcomplicate? This is one of my all-time favourites. Once there was a dog who ate a hen. Now he can't bark, all he can do is cockle-doodle-doo. Safia, age 5. I'm not going to go, how did the cock-a-doodle do? Was it in a loud voice? You haven't put exclamation marks in. Where's the speech marks? I'm not going to go down that line. That's probably not going to get you a 1A. You probably might get 2C if it was spelt quite right and there's a punctuation mark in there. Maybe there's a full stop capital letter in there. Sorry. So the second part of Feast of Stories, first part, create your character. Your character. Unique. Make it yours. Put little eyes on it. Comes to life. Out of stuff that's not recognisable. So no photocopies, no downloaded worksheets off the web, just bits. The bit behind that, Steiner research showed last year there was a piece of research that looked at early years experiences from the eyes of the child. It was published in 2010, Garrett, and Wolfenstow, if you want to find it. And what they found is that children from Steiner, child-minding, non-school spaces, so the old lady who looks after your kids, Steiner schools, they could do what Grunch calls storying. They could tell a story. The child that was child-minded would sit on the sofa at home. I have 2 sofas in my classroom. Would sit on the sofa at home and read to the nan, granddad, childminder. They could tell a story. You're going to know what the children in EYFS settings said. They knew how good they were at reading because their teacher told them they'd gone to pink or to red. Yeah. Or maybe they're on blue. Whoa, we get excited when we get someone on blue. I don't know what blue means, but it's blue. That means the head's going to be pleased with me. They know they went up a level, and their mums and dads were really excited because they went up a level because it said so in their reading record. Children not in EYFS settings could tell stories. Children in EYFS settings, it was across Northern England, across 33 different locations, and that's the one thing they found across those 33 different locations. Kids in EYFS settings found it difficult to tell stories. So the second part of Feast of Stories is you make your character. The second bit, the kids explore all the objects and they start physically building their story in the classroom. I tend to do it in a big carpet space, a big setup, my classroom a bit like this. I tend to take all the chairs to one side, move all the tables out, build your character, collect some props.
Show me your character. A bee. He's a beetle. A bee.
You can't decide if he's really a dog.
Very nice. Very friendly.
What about yours?
I think, well, this is her pet cat. We feel that she started off a bit elegant, but she's developed a sinister side to her, so we think she might be a witch. And this is her familiar.
What we do to record these, I'm going to show you, is like practicality. We get loads of parents give old mobile phones, wipe the SIM card off, they've all got voice recorders on. You don't need to go and buy expensive stuff. And with the older the phone, the simpler it is. You press the button to start, press the button to stop. So they sit there and they record these stories. And another side to this, which was the presentation I was thinking of doing, we did a project called iReaders, where they actually recorded themselves reading. They record each other reading with mobile phones we had donated, and then they watch it back to see which words they find difficult, where they were stumbling over the text, where they really liked the story. This is a young boy, Alfie, come to our school, spoke Ugandan. Dad come in, very cross with me, and he was big, and that was quite scary. And he said to me, why are you getting Alfie to speak Ugandan in school? It's his language. He's 5, Dad, and he needs to learn his language. But I want him to speak English. It's the business language of the world. He's going to go on and go be academic. I want him to speak business. I said, right, how does he talk to you at home? Because Dad's English wasn't very good. He doesn't. Right. How does he talk to Mum? He doesn't. I said, well, how does he talk to Nan and Granny? He doesn't. Why doesn't he? Well, we haven't taught him Ugandan. We taught him bits. We want him to learn English. All right. Complete lot. I had a student who spoke Ugandan. She created this with him.
Napovia zimba kumuchomo wampu Wenkovaya tonya napovia kwa Tusokulam sasa vasacha kawaka Imanga mukampala kumpine na chivu Imoto kazi simbye laini yazo.
It's one that seems to be quite clever as well. Dad come in the next day Because what I do is I put these up on my class has a little blog space, a little online space. Put it up on the online space. That comes storming in the playground. Now I'm thinking, excuse my language. Come up to me, man hug.
Oh no.
Turned away, walked off.
Oh.
Talked to the student, went away. You know, and now his sort of educational year with me changed. From a boy with quite a bit of behavioural problems, finding class difficult, to one of our highest achievers. Started picking up what we heard earlier, didn't we? That learning your first language.
Yeah.
Feast of Stories is recorded in home language as well. So if a child wants to record it in home language, they record it in home language. It's not just recorded in English. There's no assessment of this. There's no afterwards we sit down and talk about how great we thought the story was. We just listen to it and enjoy it. So we make a character, we get some objects to build the story, we build the story, we record it. How do we record it? Old mobile phones. I've got a laptop at the back. You can download Audacity off the internet. I think your schools will have that anyway. And again, Audacity is red to start, green to stop. We don't edit them. So if the child stumbles and pauses, we let them stumble and pause. We just record them. And then once they've recorded, we share it. What I always find is when you present a project like this, I sometimes get a response of, yeah, that's all great fun if that's what you want to do. But how am I supposed to do that? And B, it's, you know, I'm still accountable, aren't I? There's some data here. This was my year one. This project was year one, 2012, 2002. 83% of the children in the class got a 2C or above in reading. 37% of the class got a 2B or higher in reading. And that's year one. In writing, 97% of the class got a level 1A. 50% of the class got a 2B or higher in writing. In my year group, I had 7% of the class had special needs. 5% of that was on statements. 23% of the class had free school meals, so it would be a disadvantaged group, and 82% of the class had EAL. That year, we were also externally moderated. So that's why I can hold that data up and say, there's no arguing with that. During the external moderation, we had 2 or 3 other consultants come down because the scores were that good. It was, that can't be right. That's what we got. Across the year group who also did it, in my class I did this at least 3 times a week. In the other 2 classes, they did it once a week. 74% of the class got 2C or higher in writing, 35% 2B or higher. 94% got, sorry, that was in reading. 94% got levels 1A, 33% got 2Bs higher in reading. I don't really want to dwell on this because this doesn't really interest me. But what this does is my guarantee. It's my little bit of a guarantee, and that going right back to where we started, there might be something you've heard that you really disagree with. And it's a bit of I think there's a strong link to reading development through this, because it's that oracy and what we heard this morning, developing your home language, telling the story, building your confidence before you then go and read. Having someone next to you who fills in the gaps that you don't understand, then you take that to the text. And the results seem to show that for us. There's another bit of results that showed 1 year, in your reception class, I was the only one who did it. And there was a teacher who did it a little bit, and a teacher who didn't do it at all. And the results were proportional. Highest achieving class was the ones who did Feast of Stories all the time. The lowest achieving class was the one who didn't do it at all. Sure. I could remember nostalgically back to when I was a child, but now I'm thinking about the future. And that's why I started at the beginning with my 2 kids. I want them in their school to do all the things I did as a kid. I went to cracking schools. Ofsted wouldn't rate them as cracking schools because we were out in the woods, we were playing, we were building, it was open classrooms. I was an awful reader. I didn't get all that input. But I look back at my school days and I loved them because they gave me the security that perhaps my family didn't. But I want my daughters to also have that future. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. I want them to, when they look back at their school days, to think, I loved them, but now I'm going to go on and make my dream come true. Thank you for listening.